So we're talking about litter tending. Is one of the new things we're doing in this class. We have two baskets rigged up for a horizontal orientation and for a vertical orientation. You'll find that the vertical orientation is a little bit easier to manage. This is going to be easier, like transitioning the edge, as you guys found out in the last class when you're, going over some railings or whatever. This is easier, but for the actual rescuer, managing the patient as you're coming down the vertical will be a little bit easier. So they just, whatever orientation works better for the scenario you're in will be the correct one. It's just kind of up to you. This is like a commercial litter spider here to rig up. You can also do it with your frost knots like we taught you before, or with we've got some half-inch rope with some prussics on it there that we've also used in the past. For the horizontal, the way you rig this up as a litter tender is you got your main line and your belay line, both come into the master point. Your main line has a mini haul hooked up to it. This one is rigged up with a rope grab. The sweet spot is about 12 to 18 inches above your knots. A little bit higher is fine as long as your mini haul will extend as far as you need it to. But you don't want to come down too close to the knots because then it's going to limit how high up you can go, especially if you're tied in with a prussic, as you can see we are on the other one, because then your mini haul is going to hang down a little bit lower. I prefer the rope grab, but the prussic works just as well. For our belay line, what we've done is we tied to come into the master point. We have an alpine butterfly knot, and then we extend out a tail with a terminating knot, a carabiner, and a prussic. And this is going to allow you to adjust. You're going to be on the same belay as the basket is, and this is going to allow you to adjust your belay as you move up and down in the mini haul. I prefer to have my running double overhand on this, just to kind of keep that tight, because this will move around a little bit and you don't want to end up cross-loading your carabiner. So that's a good application for that knot. So I'll go ahead and get hooked in here. Start out just like you normally would your belay. It's going to go on your chest there. Cinch that up. Then I'm going to take my mini haul, put that down to my waist, right? And now I'm hooked in. This is how I'm going to be attached to the line. This mini haul has a cam at the top, and I've got a cord that's going to be long enough that I can manage that the entire way. So if I want to come up on this, all I'm going to do is sit down into it, and then I can pull myself up on the mini haul. I'm going to try to manage the basket as I'm going up. Normally, if you've got like a wall right here, it becomes a lot easier to hold that in one place. You just want to kind of move slowly, adjusting your belay all the time, making sure that you don't outrun it too much. So if I'm going down, right? When we've got a patient in here, we're going down, lowering. We want to make sure that I'm below the basket initially. If there's an obstacle that we have to manage, I want to come to the obstacle first so that I can manage that. And then as we come down, I may come to where the basket's maybe touching that obstacle or just in a safe position. And then I'm going to have the people lowering the basket stop. I'm going to bring myself up to a position over the basket, right? Something like that. I'm going to adjust my belay. Now this is going to allow me to grab the basket, whether from here or over here, and maneuver the basket past the obstacle until they're safe and have come to a rest below it to where they're not going to get injured. Then I can bring myself back below the basket before we move further. So when we get to the next obstacle, I'll be the first to come to it. And that's pretty much it. You guys have questions about the horizontal? I'll get my belay line on, and then I'll get my main line on. This mini haul is set up a little bit different. I've got my progress capture. Doesn't have a long cord on, it's not a cam, it's just a prusik, so I need to have that down where I can control it at myself as opposed to being up where we're attached to the rope, okay? So I've got myself on, make sure I got myself locked in, and then I can do the same thing and sit into my mini haul, pull myself up, and as you can see, this is really easy to manage the patient. I can just have my feet or the inside of my legs along the basket as I'm going wherever I need to go. Stopping periodically to adjust my belay. Put a rope management in. Get all tangled up. And you can see why you want to have this mini haul not right at the knots, because I need to be able to get up. This is as close as I can bring it in right here, right? And I'm just barely able to manage an obstacle above this basket. And that's about, what, 18, 24 inches with the prusik. This is why I prefer the rope grab. You don't have all this extra space right here that you have to deal with. And then coming down, works just the same. Don't get caught on your belay. And that's it. Questions?